Okay, good morning everyone. So let's start our class. So are you ready everyone? Okay, so today we will be uh, covering the other half part of the chapter, a visit to Sibsagar and Kaziranga. Kaziranga and Sibsagar, okay? So let's start it. So now Trisha and Lohit, they are very much excited to see Sivasagar. It's Sibsagar, Sivasagar, but it can be pronounced as Sibsagar also. Like yesterday, someone asked me why I'm pronouncing Sivasagar as Sibsagar. So we can pronounce as Sibsagar also, no matter. Okay, so today we will see that Lohit and Trisha, they have reached Borpukuri. Then they saw they visited three tanks there. Sorry, Saga Tank there, and then three temples there. Okay, and that temples were um, temple, that means Dal, Shiva Dal, Vishnu Dal, and Durga Dal. So they saw, they visited that temple. It was a very beautiful temple, and now they are very much happy, very much excited to see those new places. And then Trisha, she says, "Wow, look at the golden dome with the pinnacle on the topmost part of Sivador." Trisha exclaimed. So Trisha, she was very much excited to see the golden dome with the pinnacle on the top of the on the top pinnacle on the topmost part of the Shiva uh, doll. So it is there. It is already there in the picture in the book. Okay, you can see it in the picture there. Okay, so after that, let's see what happens. Where they are going, where they will reach, what are the new things they will be seeing. So let's see. So that is 7 feet high and is called Colosseum. Their mother said. Now, Trisha, she saw the uh, golden dome. She was very much excited to see the golden dome. Dome, that is the upper part of the temple. We have. If you notice, temple almost have the same designs. So every temple has that dome, isn't it? So in the topmost part, she can see there is something on the topmost part of the temple, a pinnacle. So now that is 7 feet high and is called Colosseum. So her mother, she added some new information to it that is actually 7 feet high. That dome is actually 7 feet high and it is called as Colosseum. Okay, Colosseum, we know it. Uh, um, a utensil made of mud, no? Kalash, we also say kalash. So that is a Colosseum. In Assamese, it is said it is known as Colosseum. So pot, you can say a pot. Okay. So and all the three temples you see on the bank were built by Queen Ambika, consort of Shiva Sinha. Now their mother, she also informed some other information about it, saying that all the three temples, as they have seen on the bank, they all this temple are built by Queen Ambika, who is the wife of Shiva Sinha. Okay, so we have already known before the Shiva, even the Shiv Saga tank is uh, built by Queen Ambika, uh, and that's why it is named after her husband. And even these three temples were built by Queen Ambika, who was the wife of Shiva Sinha. Okay, so they visited the Thai Museum located on the bank of Sibsagar Tank and were fascinated by the swords, clothes, manuscripts, goblets, plates, and other rare antiques of the rulers preserved there. So now, after visiting the three temples, they visited Thai Museum. There is a museum, and it is located on the bank of Sibsagar Tank, and they are very much fascinated. They are very much fascinated to see the old things there, which are preserved very nicely in that museum. So they are fascinated to see the swords, clothes, manuscript, goblets, plates, and other many rare antiques of the rulers of that particular time, and they are all preserved very nicely. So it's Ravi Shankar is saying good evening, ma'am. It is not good evening; it's good morning. Okay, so let's go to see the Joysagar tank, another very beautiful tank. Their father said, getting into the car. So now, after visiting the Sipsagar tank, now they are going to see they are their father is their father is taking them to the Joysagar tank, and that is also another beautiful tank. Okay, so this tank was dug by Ahom king Rudrasena in memory of his mother Sati Joymati. Now, he also tells some information, he gives some information to his children about the Joysagar tank, that this Joysagar tank was dug by the Ahom king Rudrasena, and it was dug in the memory of his mother, whose name was Joymati. Okay. Why is she called Sati? Asked Trisha. Now, her name was Joymati, but she was tortured by Rosa. This cruel king either killed or maimed young men in his kingdom. So now, this woman Joymati, why she was actually called Sati? Because she has sacrificed her life for her husband. She has to face lots of torture only because of her husband. She has to bear all the torture given by Laura Rosa. So now this king, this Raja, this king, what he actually used to do, he used to either kill the people, kill the man, or he would make them handicapped. Okay, he will cut their hand or leg so that they will not be a normal person. So um, he would actually this Laura Rosa, he was so cruel that he used to kill the man of that kingdom. He doesn't like any of the man of that kingdom should be alive or should be in a perfect way. That means proper way. So now why he actually killed it? So now let's say he used to make them physically handicapped. Okay. So now the Ahoms believed that only a physically perfect person could ascend the throne. So now the Ahom people, they actually believe that only a physically perfect man, a person who is physically fit, so that this person can only rule the throne. So it was believed at that time that a person who is physically fit, that means um, who is fit and fine, healthy, that person can only rule the throne, rule the kingdom. So that's why what happened, a maimed man could never become a king. A person who doesn't have one hand or who doesn't have leg or who is not physically fit, that kind of person cannot become a king. You could never become a king. So, by maiming the young man of his kingdom, he made sure that his throne would remain safe from rebels. So now this Laura Rosa, he was so cruel that, as you already know, that the Ahom kings, they have a belief that a person who is physically fit can only rule the kingdom. So this Laura Rosa, he would not like any other people, any other person, any other man to rule the kingdom. He wants to rule the kingdom forever till his life. Okay, till his so he doesn't want anyone to rule the kingdom. He doesn't want to give his throne to anybody. So what he did, only to be the king of that particular kingdom, he will be maim those people, those men of his kingdom, so that the throne would be safe from any other rebels. So he doesn't want any other man to be perfectly fit. So what he will do, he will hold that man. He will kill them, or he will just make them handicapped. Like he will cut their hand or leg. So in that way, they cannot be a king of that kingdom. And then this Laura Rosa, he will be saved, that his throne will not be taken by any other person. Okay, clear everyone? If you have any doubt, please write it down. Okay. Okay, after that, what happened? So now Joymuti's husband Gadadhar Sinha fled and hid himself in the Naga hills. Now this Joymuti's husband, uh, Gadadhar Sinha, whose name was Gadadhar Sinha, he fled and hid himself. He has to just run away from there, and he has to hid himself in the Naga hills. He had hid himself in the Naga hills. Laura Rosa could not find him, and Laura Rosa he was searching them because all the men of that kingdom was already he has made them handicapped or he has killed them. But now this Gadadhar Sinha he was then alive, and Gadadhar Sinha what he has done he has run away from that place and he hid himself in the Naga hills so that he will be safe so that he could not actually harm him. Laura Rosa could not actually harm him. So now So Jaymati was taken a prisoner. Now, as he could not find Gadadhar Singha, so in place of Gadadhar Singha, Jaymati was taken to a prison. She was kept in a prison by Laura Rosa, and she was actually tortured a lot just to know where Gadadhar Singha had hid himself. So she was tortured because she refused to reveal the whereabouts of her husband, and she was tortured a lot only because she refused to tell them where her husband is hiding. She did not told them where her husband was hiding. So in that way, by the torture, she sacrificed her life for her husband. After being inhumanly tortured for 14 days, Joymati died. So Laura Raza, he actually tortured her a lot, only to know about the whereabouts of Laura of the Gadadhar Singha. But still, till the end of her life, Joymati she did not utter a single word about her husband, only to save himself from Laura Raza, and she sacrificed her life for her husband. And at last, when she was tortured for 14 days and she died. Okay, so and that's why she was called as Sati Jaymati because she has sacrificed her life for her husband. So sad, said Trisha. Could Gadadhar Sinha become the king? Now, after hearing all the story, she want to know if Gadadhar Sinha has become the king or not. And then if the replies come yes, that means yes, he has become the king. Oh, how beautiful and blue the waters are! Trisha exclaimed as they walked up to the Joy Sagar tank. And here too are temples. Now, after this story, now they reach the Joy Sagar tank, and when they reach, Trisha, by looking the scenario of that Joy Sagar tank, it was very beautiful. She exclaimed that how beautiful the waters are, the blue waters are, and they walked up to the Joy Sagar tank. And also in the Joy Sagar tank, there are some temples. Yes, and here too are temples. Yes, said their mother. And their mother, she said, yes, there are some temples. After strolling for a while, their mother said, we will come back here again tomorrow evening. So they just roam here and there for some time, strolling to roam here and there for some time. And then their mother said that tomorrow again they will, tomorrow evening again they will visit the Sagar tank. So they went to see the Ranghar, and after that they went to see the Ranghar. The roof is shaped like an inverted boat, and the roof of the Ranghar was shaped like an inverted boat. Okay, like boat is like that, but it was in that way. Okay, um, the opposite. It is in the opposite way. Okay, so it was shaped like an inverted boat. Already you can see in page number 157, the picture has been given. Okay, so after that, the Ahom kings, sorry, used to sit here and enjoy sports. The father explained. So the Ahom kings, they used to sit here. Actually, the father, he gave some information about the Ranghar that the Ahom kings, they used to sit here and they enjoy the sports. You mean a stadium? Lohit asked. Now Lohit, uh, when he heard okay sports, that means it might be a stadium because nowadays we know a stadium where actually sports are being conducted or sports are being held in a. So said that oh you mean that it is a stadium? It is a stadium. Then what he said, actually an amphitheater. It is an outdoor sports ground. Look at the and then he said that it is actually not a stadium but it is an amphitheater and it is an outdoor sports ground and this is actually an outdoor sports ground. Outdoor sports, as you know, the sports that are played outside, they are outdoor sports. Look at the shape. It is circular, and then he tells him to see the shape, and it is the shape is circular. The royal family would come to watch the indigenous games of Assam, like bird fights, buffalo fights, their mother explained. And their mother, she gave some other information with it that it is an that this is an amphitheater. Actually, that is an amphitheater. Amphitheater means you can say it is like a stadium, but not exactly a stadium. Okay, uh, the open there is no roof, okay, where there is no roof, outdoor sports ground, so that's why it is like an amphitheater. And then she also explained that the royal family, the king family, the family and the king and his family, they would come to watch those indigenous games of Assam, and those indigenous games, the local games of Assam, like bird fight, buffalo fight. So these are the sports that used to be held during that time. And the king and his family, they actually enjoy the sports. They sit here, they enjoy, they see, they watch the sport, they see the sports, and they enjoy the sports. Okay, so at that time, because of its structure, this was a unique monument, not only in India, but in the whole of Asia. Father said as they walked around it. Now, now the father, he again added some other information to it. Um, Okay, most of you are a little bit late, so whatever explanation is already done. So later on, when we complete this video, you can watch the explanation. Okay, Marcy and then go Subhadra, you are late. Okay, let's see next what happened. So at that time, because of its structure, this was a unique monument, not only in India but in the whole of Asia. Father said, as they walked around it. And then father he gave some other information to them that that at that time this monument was a unique monument because of its shape. It was of its design. It was a unique monument not only in India but in the whole of Asia. So they just walk around and the parents, they were giving some extra information to their children. Who built it? Queen Ambika? Asked Lohit. Now Lohit, as we already have known before that Sivasagar Tank was built by Queen Ambika, the temples were built by Queen Ambika. So he thought that might be this is also built by Queen Ambika. And that, no, it's King Pramata Sinha. Then he said that no, it is built by Pramata Sinha. Then they went to the Talatal Ghar, and after they enjoyed in the Ranghar, now they went to the Talatul Ghar. So some of the questions are very important that who built. So you can underline those words. Okay. So now then they went to the Talatal Ghar. It does not look so good. When they reached the actually enjoying a lot. Okay, so then what he actually saying that then Lohit is little bit disappointed to see the Talatal Ghar because he was actually thinking that it would be more grand because till now he had been doing the most beautiful things, the very beautiful monuments and all, and now he thought that he was expecting that there will be something very bigger one, grand one. So now he was not at all happy. He was totally disappointed because the Talatal Ghar, it was not so good to look at. What you see now is the remains of the Talatal Ghar, mother said. And mother she added that actually now what you see this is only the remaining part of the Talatal Ghar. It had 4 stories above ground, father explained, and 3 stories underground. So now he explained it that it had 4 story above the ground and also 3 story under the ground. So there was way underground also, underground ways also. There were two secret tunnels, and there even had two secret tunnels. One which was 16 kilometers long led to Gargaon Palace, and other which was 3 kilometers long led to the Dikhau river. Now says that now the mother the mother she said that this is not the main Talatal Ghar, because the main Talatal Ghar it is not actually now exists, but still this is only the remaining part of Talatal Ghar. And he says his father explained that it had some 4 stories above ground, and then underground also it had 3 stories. Again, there were some secret tunnels, and one tunnel which was 16 kilometers long. It led to Gargaon village palace, and the other which was 3 kilometers long. It led to Dikhau river. From that tunnel, we can reach Dikhau river and Gargaon palace. Really? Said Lohit, quite impressed. Can we go through one tunnel to the Dikhau river? And then he was very much excited to get those information. Oh, that was Talatalghar was like that. So he was very much happy and also excited to hear it. And then he said that can we go through? He asked if he could go through the one tunnel to the Dikhau river. No, we can't. It is closed now. And then information added that now actually they cannot go because it is closed now. Those tunnels are closed now. But before it used to be in that way. I wish it were open. It would have been such an adventurous for tourists, Trisha said. And Trisha, she said that if it was, if she wished that it was open, then many tourists have visited the place. It would be like adventure for the tourist new visitor. It would be a great adventure for them. They stopped for a while at the Rudrasagar tank, and then they reached Rudrasagar tank and they stopped there for a while. During that 3 day stay, they had a good time visiting most of the historical sites in Sibsagar tank town. Sorry. Now, as they it was 3 day. They stayed for 3 day. They had a very good time visiting new places, visiting historical monuments and all in around Sibsagar, in and around Sibsagar. So they have enjoyed a lot. So now they visited the Gargaon Palace, about 15 kilometers from Sivasagar. So now they visited the Garaga Palace. Actually, that Garaga Palace from that tunnel, one can actually get Garaga Palace, but now the tunnel has been closed. So they reached Garaga Palace, which was 15 kilometers from Sipsagar. And this Garaga Palace, what they actually see there, it is a four-storied building. Okay, it has 4 story, and each floor is built in gradually receding tiers. And this four-storied building, they are actually uh, built in gradually receding tiles. Okay, so the top floor has a dome-like roof, and the top floor has a dome like the roof like a dome, like we have seen in the temple. No, that is a dome. So the roof was like a dome. As they walked in and around the palace, Trisha said, once it must have been a beautiful place. And as they were just moving around the Gargaon Palace to see the Gargaon Palace, then Trisha, she felt like once upon a time it was a very beautiful palace. This palace was very beautiful, but now it has become old, so maybe it doesn't look so much beautiful, but one can feel that it was a beautiful palace at that time. Now she asks who built this palace, Gargaon Palace. Then reply comes that history says that Suklengmung, the 15th Ahom king, constructed a place in 1540 with wood and other materials that were not very good. Now, if they go to the history to find out who has built this palace, then according to the history, Suklengmung, who was the 15th Ahom king, he constructed this palace in 1540, and it was built with with wood and some other material which were not so very good, which were not so very strong materials. But this present one, but the now which is there, the present one, it was rebuilt. It was again rebuilt. That previous palace was again rebuilt by King Rajeshwar Sinha in 1752. So in this way, get to know about the Gargaon Palace, that who built it, at what time. It was built two times. First by Suklingmo, who was actually 15 a home king, and it was not a very good material were not used to actually build that palace. But later on, King Rajeshwar Sinha in 1752, he built this palace, and now it's little bit better than the previous one. I will take you to Charaideo, said their father. Sukafa, the founder of the Ahom dynasty, made Charaideo his first capital. Now they are going to, their parents are taking them to Charaideo. And Sukafa, he was the founder of the Ahom dynasty who made Charaideo his first capital. Okay? So it is 22 kilometers away from Sibsagar town and is worth visiting. And this Charaideo is actually 22 kilometers away from Sibsagar, and it is the most important thing one need to visit. If you go there, if you do not see the Charaideo Maidan, then it would be like useless. If you have gone to Sibsagar, you would, that is also a very important, very beautiful place. Beautiful means important place to look about, which is actually related with our historical uh, time, historical age. Okay, now what is there to say? Palaces? Asks Lohit. Now Lohit, of course, he is expecting the grand one. Now he said that what is there to say in that Charaideo madam? Is there any palaces? No, it had at least 100 madams. And then her father he replied that no, you will not see any palaces there, but you will see at least hundreds of madams there. Madams means it's a ground, okay? Maidans. Now he doesn't know what is Maidan. So um, what is Maidan? It is actually introduced to them that Maidan actually was a burial ground of the Ahom kings and the nobles. And he tells that Maidan are actually the burial ground. Burial ground means where dead bodies are buried. Okay, so burial ground of the Ahom king. So during Ahom kings, the noble people, the kings were actually buried in this Maidan. So there were almost hundreds of Maidan in Charaideo. So many royal graveyards still exist in this place. So if you will go there, you will see many royal graveyards which even exist today. The hillock of Charaideo was considered to be sacred by the people of the Ahom dynasty. So there is this hillock. Hillock, you can say a mountain type structure. So that hillock of that Charaideo as actually is considered as a sacred, holy place for the people of Ahom dynasty. They believe it to be a holy place for them. They believe this place to be the home of their ancestral god. So they believe that this hillock is the home to their ancestral god. So they actually even pray there, they worship there. Both Trisha and Lohit found their visit to Charaideo Madam very interesting. So as they reached Charaideo Madam, Lohit and Trisha were very much excited to see the Charaideo Madam. They found it a very interesting place. Charaideo Madam, an interesting place. The world should know about this Maidan. So her mother, their mother, she actually added that if everyone should know about this Maidan, the world should actually know about this Maidan. And why she actually tells it like that? This has tomb walls just like pyramids of in Egypt. So I hope you have seen pyramids in Egypt, isn't it? You have been, though if you have not seen in a book, maybe you have seen in movies and all the pyramids of Egypt. So she says that even the Maidans have some tomb walls just like pyramids of Egypt. So that's why people should know about this Maidans. The people know about the pyramids. So people almost know about the pyramids and all, but not anything about this Madam. But people they do not know about this ground, about this Charaja Madam. They know about the Egypt, but they do not know about Madam. Madam. So even her mother she wants that everyone should know about the Madam. It is a very interesting place and it is actually similar. The tomb walls are actually similar to the pyramids in Egypt, which are actually very much fascinating thing for the it will be a fascinating and interesting thing for the visitor, just like a pyramids in Egypt. It was a learning and also an enjoyable experience for both Lohit and Trisha. So this journey to Sivsagar and Kaziranga was a learning and enjoyable experience for Lohit and Trisha. They enjoyed it a lot by visiting a place which they had not seen, by visiting a monument, but they even learn lots of things. They have even collected lots of information about those places. We can come back again next year. So Lohit, he was so excited. So every time he visited a new place, the second time he wants to visit it again. So he said that we can come back again next year. Next year, said his mother, smiling. So his mother was smiling. She said that next year we will go somewhere else next year. So they are planning to go somewhere else next year. So in this way, their father they take them to visit new places, and even they actually give lots of knowledge to their children about those places. So in this way, our chapter, the visit to Kaziranga and Sivasagar ends here. So I hope everyone has understood the lesson properly. Was there any doubt in understanding the lesson? Please write it down. Do you have any doubt? And the others who have been late in the class, you can see the video, repeat the video again, okay? So, do you have any doubts, student? So now here, you just write it down. If you have any doubt anywhere, you can write it down. Now in this chapter, we have lots of short questions, okay? We have lots of short questions. Even there are some exercise questions are here, which I will provide you in the next class. So you just find out those short questions and note it down in your notebook, okay? So, okay. So so everyone, you are saying that no doubt. So it's already been we have completed the chapter. That is your homework. Your homework will be to find out some of the short question from the book and write it down. Okay, short question and answer, which carry 1 mark. Okay. Okay, students. So that's all for today. So we have two more chapters from your book Beehive, not from Beehive. I think from Moments. You have two more chapters. So we will try to complete it soon, and related grammar part also some of the things left, so even that one we will cover it very soon. So if you have any doubt anywhere, please write it down, okay, in the group. Okay, that's all for today, students. Take care of yourself. Bye, students.